Birth: Maria, Queen of Sicily. She was born the 2nd of July 1363 and died the 25th of May 1401. Born in Catania, she was the daughter and heir of Frederick the Simple by his first wife, Constance of Aragon. As she was 13 years old at the time of her father's death in 1377, her government was effectively taken over by 4 baronial families who styled themselves vicars. In 1379, she was kidnapped by Count William Raymond, a Sicilian nobleman and member of the Aragonese House of Montcada, and imprisoned for 2 years at Licata. This had been approved by her grandfather, King Peter IV of Aragon. In 1382, Maria was rescued by an Aragonese fleet. She was taken first to Sardinia, then in 1384 to Aragon, where she was married to Martin the Younger. In 1392, Maria and Marston returned with a military force and defeated the opposing barons, ruling jointly until Maria's death in 1401. At that time, Marston ruled Sicily alone. Their only son Peter died the year before his mother. The kingdom remained without a crown prince, and this caused a succession crisis for Marston, who ruled by right of his wife. Frederick the Simple had named his illegitimate son William, Count of Malta, as heir presumptive in the case of the extinction of his daughter's line. William had died in 1380, but he had a daughter, Joan. She, however, cannot have contested her uncle's claim, since Martin continued to rule unopposed until his death. Death: Thomas Harriot. He was born circa 1560 and died the 2nd of July 1621. He was an English astronomer, mathematician and translator who made advances with the scientific field. He was recognised for his contribution in astronomy, mathematics and navigational techniques. He worked closely with John White to create advanced maps for navigation. While Thomas worked extensively on numerous papers on the subjects of astronomy, mathematics and navigation, the amount of work that was actually published was sparse. So sparse that the only publication that has been produced was the brief and true report of the Newfoundland of Virginia. The premise of the book includes descriptions of English settlements and financial issues in Virginia at that time. He is sometimes credited with the introduction of the potato to the British Isles. He was the first person to make a drawing of the moon through a telescope on the 26th of July 1609, over 4 months before Galileo. After graduating from St Mary Hall, Oxford, he travelled to the Americas, accompanying the 1585 expedition to Roanoke Island, funded by Sir Walter Raleigh and led by Sir Ralph Lane. He was a vital member of the venture, having learned and translating the Carolina Algonquin language from 2 Native Americans. On his return to England, he worked for the 9th Earl of Northumberland. At the Earl's house, he became a prolific mathematician and astronomer, to whom the theory of refraction is attributed. He died on the 2nd of July 1621. He was buried in the church of St Christopher le Stocks, near where he died. Event. In 1644, during the English Civil War, the Battle of Marston Moor took place. The Battle of Marston Moor was fought on the 2nd of July 1644 during the First English Civil War of 1642 to 1646. The combined forces of the English parliamentarians under Lord Fairfax and the Earl of Manchester and the Scottish Covenanters under the Earl of Leven defeated the Royalists, commanded by Prince Rupert of Rhine and the Marquess of Newcastle. During the summer of 1644, the Covenanters and Parliamentarians had been besieging York, which was defended by the Marquess of Newcastle. Rupert had gathered an army which marched through the northwest of England, gathering reinforcements and fresh recruits on the way, and across the Pennines to relieve the city. The convergence of these forces made the ensuing battle the largest of the civil wars. On the 1st of July, Rupert outmanoeuvred the Covenanters and Parliamentarians to relieve the city. The next day, he sought battle with them, even though he was outnumbered. Towards evening, the Covenanters and Parliamentarians launched a surprise attack. After a confused fight lasting 2 hours, Parliamentarian cavalry under Oliver Cromwell routed the Royalist cavalry from the field, and with Leven's infantry annihilated the remaining Royalist infantry. The loss of the North was to prove a fatal handicap the next year, when they tried unsuccessfully to link up with the Scottish Royalists. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, click the like button and please subscribe. Thank you.